Said I'm Adina. I am a mom, a wife, triathlete, entrepreneur, just kind of a regular person showing up and sharing my own thoughts of how life is happening. And today, during my workout, I was really kind of thinking about all the uncertainty that's going on. And I know everybody is talking about it, but I wanted to look at it from a little different angle. Because we all know this is a big time of change, this big time of transition. There's a lot of just unknown things happening. And I kind of was thinking back to a time when I, really had a lot of changes going on in my life. And I really realized that there was this one phrase that kind of came up, and I really like to latch onto it. I heard it says, "Your adversity is your advantage." And I really thought that this was just something really important to share and bring back right now, because this is such a time of adversity. There are a lot of challenges going on. Yeah, and if you just stop and take a moment and think about how you're being challenged right now. Maybe you're being challenged, maybe your safety or your health is being challenged either for you or for someone in your family. Maybe you have a relationship that's being challenged. Maybe your finances are being challenged. Maybe your job. We can think of all kinds of ways that we are challenged in life. Maybe your health, maybe your education. There's so many different things that can be challenged in our lives. And when we go through these big challenges, it's tough. That's just the only way I can say it is. It's tough. There's a lot of different ways to face it. You can just power through, you can run away, you can take it step by step. And there's tons of different ways to face it, and how you face it for yourself is the right way. But at the end of the day, what really was just kind of hitting me and so important to remember is that all of the adversity you faced in your life, all of the challenges you faced up until now have taught you something. It's a learning experience. It gives you fuel, it gives you knowledge, it gives you power to move forward. And if you think about the biggest struggle you've ever had, just take a minute and just say, all right, what's something that I really struggled with that I overcame? I'm sure you have at least one thing that you can think of that you said, wow, that was a huge struggle and I overcame it. So for me, it's my weight. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I used to weigh well over 200 pounds, which is a lot for someone 5'2", tiny little stature. And I've been overweight as long as I can remember, like way back until I was in high school, and I used to wonder if people wanted to be friends with me because I was fat. And I said, oh, well, if they're not my friend because I'm fat, well, then too bad for them. And I really kind of learned to accept people's as they are based on that. So I kind of dealt with, high schoolers, we all know teenagers are tough. And people made fun of me. And, I learned that the people who didn't make fun of me, the people who really cared about me for who I was, those were the real people. And that's how you find your friends, that it was more than about my size or what I looked like. So that was like a huge learning for me, So I learned how to really value friendship. And I also learned how to really work hard. It took a lot of effort to lose weight. It took a lot of effort. I'd say my early stages of weight loss started back in about 2000. And I didn't get to a point that I felt like I was really like where I wanted to be until like 2018, it was like 18 years of on and off. And, I still am working at it, but it's hard. Like, if I were thin my whole life, I would not have learned to work for what I wanted. I would not have learned how to do the research, try new things, keep pushing forward, push myself to new physical adventures. I would have just been like, all right, I'm fine. This is how I am and I'm good, and I took that heavier body. And even now, I'm not a tiny person. I have a small frame, but I'm strong, I'm solid. And, I look at some of those other tiny athletes going off to triathlons and I'm like, wow, they're just powering through and powering through. And it's a little different for someone who's a little more solid. And I'm not very fast. I'm not the best athlete on earth. But I think that having learned how to deal with my weight and advance forward with my weight was definitely something that taught me perseverance and taught me inner strength and to rely on myself and to know that I can do it. And so that kind of really translated over to how I attack my races. I started with a 5K and then all the way up through a full distance triathlon. I knew how to persevere. I knew how to keep going. I knew how to just do the best that I could and be proud of the effort that I made along the way, because I had already gone through that. I had that basis. So that hard struggle of being overweight for so long and conquering that gave me the power, gave me the confidence and the energy to say, well, I can try other things. So without that adversity, I wouldn't have the advantage that I have now. That is, I'm never giving up. I will get to the finish line. And even more so, it's taken me one step farther that says, now I'm not just going to keep this to myself, right? I used to be, the kind of person that hid behind those baggy clothing and everything. And I said, no, you know what? I figured out how to emerge. I'm not a model. I'm not skinny, but I figured out how to be proud of who I am and share that forward with anybody who would listen, like you, thanks for listening today. And, I found that I had a gift to be able to inspire other people, to share my story and to just show people that, I used to be huge. I used to be stuck behind the big clothes. I didn't know what to do, but now I can use that advantage, what I've learned, how I've grown, and even the adversity that I still find every single day, to kind of move one step forward, but just keep moving forward and keep going. So, it really sucked being overweight for a long time. It really did. And sometimes I do wish that I was one of those skinny people that didn't have to work at everything and always be paying attention to it. But through the adversity of being overweight and dealing with those challenges, I found my advantage. I found my advantage of just getting out there and being myself, being real, and encouraging others to do the same. Really, the big struggle just became my superpower, and my superpower to just show up all the time. So I share that story with you because I don't know what advantage we are going to get out of this situation. And for everybody, it's going to be a little different. I don't know. I really don't know. For some people, I'm already hearing them talking about how they're spending more time with their families and how valuable it is to have that time together and to enjoy that time together. Maybe those family bonds are going to become so strong. Other people have some extra time to be exploring some new ideas. And maybe their advantage is going to be finding a new path. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to bring. But I do know that every struggle ends in a positive. It ends in a learning. And sometimes you don't know it right away, but the learning is there. The advantage is waiting for you. So just be really aware of what's going on around you. Take notes, write in your journal, notice the good things, notice the little things that are just making you feel good and enjoy those right now. And really believe that this adversity is going to also leave you one day with an advantage. And I hope that when you find out what that advantage is, that you'd share it with me, because it really, really makes me happy to hear about when other people work through their adversity, find their advantage. We're all going to come out stronger. We're all going to come out stronger. We're just going to keep believing it and keep moving forward. So thanks for listening, and I wish you all well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and let that adversity be your advantage. We've got this.